Chris Fettis, welcome, man.
Thank you. Grateful to be here.
Been trying to make this happen for what, like a year now, maybe a little longer.
Yeah.
But anyways, we'll get into all that stuff here in a minute. But so before we do these long, drawn out, heavy interviews, we like to do a little warm up, and people love to know tactical type stuff from guys like you, from operators that have been doing it. And so we started this thing called the Everyday Carry Pocket Dump. Actually, it's been around a long time. I didn't start that. But we started it on this show as like a kind of a warm-up segment to ease the nerves. And so everybody wants to know, what guys like you are running around with to protect yourself and your family. And so I'll just give the floor to you. What are you packing every day?
This is honestly what I was packing. I kind of got caught by surprise, but I appreciate that because it changes. Depends on the environment where I'm going, but I keep it pretty basic. I got to go in and out of my ice cream cafe all the time. I can't be like taking a pistol on and off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The pouch works great for me for that, and it keeps everything in there. So I might get judged for some things I'm missing in here, but that's okay because it's really what I have, and
Chris, the internet would never judge you. Let's go.
All right. So
what do you got?
I'll start with the front. I got my little inhaler because I got asthma. My ear pods for phone calls. I need to do them on the fly. Listen to some music and breathe sometimes. Got my chapstick. Next pocket. I've been having some sinus troubles with allergies. Got my meditating beads.
What do you do with those?
I meditate. So,
how do you use them?
Through the day, sometimes there's just opportunities. I see a nice tree, a nice patch of grass or something, or, it's just fresh air. Just take that opportunity to breathe for a few minutes. So I'll use the headphones, put on some good music, and just breathe for 5 minutes sometimes, 2 minutes, anything, or sometimes an hour. But the beads just help me measure the breath and kind of focus my mind on just that. And
how do they help you measure breath
and not what's going on, in that day? There's 108 beads on these. You start at the beginning. You just hold them in your hand. On every out breath, whatever your pace is, you just move a bead.
Oh, okay.
So I don't have to pay attention to time. I've calculated that this whole thing takes me about 45 minutes. But if I get to one of the markers, if I don't have much time, I'll stop there, and that's just a few minutes of breathing. So there's 3 markers.
Interesting.
And I just go by that. It just helps me not have to set a timer, kind of, hey, I've got an appointment after this, so nervous to breathe. But if I use this, it just kind of is like a little safety net for time.
Why is there 108 beats?
I think there's some significance in that in people that practice meditation and spirituality. The number 9 is significant in that, and I haven't, dug deeply into the meanings behind the numbers like 7 and 9, but there is some significance.
Mm-hmm.
And I just can't articulate what it is.
I think 369, any one of those numbers in combination is the God frequency.
Correct. I think
Is that correct?
Well, I think you're right about that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has some meaning and some depth to it.
Like 396 hertz, it's God frequency.
Yeah.
936, God frequency. I think that's all. I listen to frequency music a lot.
Yeah, for sure. The different brain waves, alpha, beta, theta. Theta being like the deep one that you get all the signaling messages from, and all the deep introspects, and even some of the remote viewing type stuff you had some guys on here talking about in that brainwave state.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just I picked it up as a habit with meditating, and I never really thought much more about it. It just worked.
Interesting.
Yep. So then I got my wallet. Just got lucky and had a little bit of cash so I don't look broke on this trip. And then I got the pistol, the 365 XL.
Nice.
Just my favorite. I think it's just the best EDC carry pistol that was ever created. So
I got a buddy, Jason, over at SIG. Huge fan of you. Andy loves ice cream. But yeah, I told him you were coming on. He got all excited. He always gets excited, my guys. It's hilarious. But he gave me something to give you, and he heard you're a huge fan of Sig, so
Oh my gosh,
me
that's
to-
crazy.
he
Yeah,
wanted me to give you that
I was looking forward to the gummy bears, but wow,
next time. Next time.
wow, the Legion.
Yeah, go ahead, pick it up.
That's cool.
Yeah, so they came out that I think about, I don't know, maybe
With the red dot sight. Wow.
6 months ago. Redid their whole optics line. It's all metal.
That's the SIG
No
sight,
polymer.
the Romeo, right?
Yeah. And then what, 17 plus one in the pipe, and then they got this new magazine they came out with. I think it, forgive me, Jason, I think it holds 21 rounds in that
Yeah,
other
that's-
magazine.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, it's they've really upped the game, man, with that
These are
360.
incredible. These are just, they just fit in the hands. They're so solid. They just, the slide moves like butter. It's just, it's just the best carry pistol I've ever experienced.
Were you guys carrying any of those like subcompacts when you were in?
We did have the SIG subcompact at the time. I forgot the number. Is it like a 232 or, we obviously always came up with a 226, but
Yeah,
the
yeah.
smaller version of the 226, we did have that.
Nothing
when I
like
was
that
there.
though.
No, this wasn't out yet. We didn't have these. I wish we did. I would have carried it a lot more often.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah, as a recce sniper type dude, my go-to was the HK-45 that we had with the suppressor.
Oh, no kidding.
A little heavier, but I wanted that, firepower
Yeah.
for rooftops and different things.
Did you ever have to use it?
No, I never shot at anybody.
Right on.
No.
Right on. What do you always carry in the fanny pack?
I do. Not always. It depends. It's just my favorite way to carry because it's just an easy on and off. I train with it so I can get it out almost as quick as I can get it out of a holster. And I just like the conceal, how concealed it is. With a civilian pack, it doesn't look very threatening, doesn't stick out or anything. I'm comfortable when I'm driving. I can just kind of move it on and off. My biggest take is I really don't like taking it on and off all the time, all day. It's super uncomfortable having something there when I'm driving around. I got, a million things to do, with the business in and out all the time. So it just works well for me with some good training.
Nice. I'm curious, is it you're a family man? Does your wife carry?
No, I haven't gotten her to be comfortable enough to do any training. It's just she's super nervous around it, right? So the most we've ever gone is, hey, if I'm on a trip, everything's locked up. I got the kids now, but I'll leave, sort of an unloaded shotgun because that sound is very threatening. So I was like, worst case, she's a freeze person.
Nice.
So, this has been tested with noises in the night. Sometimes, when we were dating one time, our shower pole fell down and crashed to the floor and she froze while I got up naked, with the shotgun clearing of the apartment, the whole time her knowing that it was a shower curtain, but just couldn't get a breath out to tell me.
Shit. I thought you meant point the gun and tell him to freeze. You mean
No,
freezes up.
she freezes. Yes.
Gotcha. I got another. I ask everybody this question that has kids because I got 2 kids, but they're a lot younger than yours. Have you introduced your kids to firearms yet?
Yes, they have gotten some introduction, some safety rules, and I'll kind of gradually step them into that.
What age did that start?
I probably started around 7 and 8.
Okay.
They're a year apart. And then we do some fun training with Nerf guns,
Nice.
But until they get to a point where I don't even catch them one time pointing it at somebody or at somebody's face, even just playing around, that's kind of the lesson to go. I correct them. And then every time, I talk about it, like, it doesn't matter if it's a fake gun or a toy gun or a Nerf gun. You're only going to shoot it when you're playing, and you guys have agreed to the game, right?
Yeah.
And so, we're learning over time, barrel awareness, sweeping and that kind of stuff. And also timing wise, when I have enough time freed up, we'll go do some shooting, but we haven't gotten to that yet.
What will you start them on? Rifle, pistol, 22?
I think I'll build them up the way that we learn. Pistol, rifle, and then kind of any of the other things, shotguns, long range,
Right on.
stuff like that as we go along. So I unfortunately don't have the environment to do that a lot. I don't have like a backyard where we can do that. I don't have, so we got to go find space to do that. And it's just, I gotta get to it. So
Yeah. One more question, then we'll get to the interview. We had some discussions at breakfast and downstairs about the tactical guys, and so what I want to ask everybody's got an opinion about this shit, but this isn't for the tough guys. What do you think that everybody across the globe now is worried about personal security with all the shit going on in the world. What do you, because you were in the tactical industry, obviously as a SEAL tier 1 guy, but then when you got out, you did worked at a couple of different camps, and so you've been around training civilians that aren't used to this kind of stuff. What's the biggest mistake you see newbies into the tactical self-protection, I'm going to finally carry a gun because shit's getting bad phase? What do you think the biggest mistake people make is getting into this?
I think that just like any other thing you might want to learn, I don't know, jujitsu or skydiving or just anything, not having the patience to build up to the action, which is you want to be down the range shooting a bunch of rounds and moving around doing cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And just having the patience to build up to that, some time manipulating the gun and dry firing and doing a couple of reloading drills with no rounds and getting really comfortable, making sure that you're not one of those. I mean, even SEALs that I've seen, different guys will be, I call them, like trigger nerves, where they don't even know it, but subconsciously they're always playing with their trigger. You know what I mean? Flipping the switch on and off, flipping the switch, making sure you don't have those kind of habits developing, because, those are always, like, in my opinion, I'm sure you've experienced it once or twice, the guys where it's like, we're just hanging out kind of blam. Okay, so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
What happened? Happened in my selection course. A guy fired his pistol off between house runs and, in the high bay we were waiting for, all nervous in between runs. And it was like, dude, it's
Shit.
just from nerves, So guns are dangerous. And so, even our vehicles, we've been desensitized to not realize that they're like these metal machines, and we're just like little newborn pink hamsters inside of there when people are fucking around on the road.
Yeah.
And just flying around and getting road rage. And like, it's the same thing with pistols. They're little machines. So just being a little more mindful towards what they are and having the patience to get to the cool stuff, confidently. That's my opinion.
Good advice, man. Well, thanks for sharing. Let's get to the real show. No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.